Good day everyone and welcome to Poser's full movie recap. Our story today is about a man who's trying to reclaim the 40 years of his wife's life that were used to pay off a debt. In this advanced world, they already figure out a method of transferring years of one's life to another, so life years can sometimes serve as currency. The people in need can sell their lifespans for money, while wealthy people can buy them to extend their lives. It all begins with an advertisement for Aeon's time donation program, which provides people with the hope that by selling some of their life years, they apparently take one step closer to their dreams. The biotech company promotes that by giving life tends to give back, as young age only represents beauty but not success. At the end of the advertisement is a note that advocates the concept of free will, but in reality, the poor are convinced by employees known as donation managers to donate so that rich people can get younger and live longer. One of these employees is a man named Max, who is currently trying to convince a young man to donate 15 years of his life in exchange for 700,000 euros. The young man is skeptical as he just turned 18 recently, but Max points out that his family can use the money. They can able to have a new life by fixing their citizenship problem, so they won't have to die in a dump or get deported back to their home country. Max is the star salesman of Aeon, who manages to acquire thousands of life years for the company. As he enters the Aeon's headquarters, he wears a rain suit to avoid the vile stuff that the protester outside throws at the employees. Inside, he gets applause from his co-workers, and they award him the title of Donation Manager of the Year. As the CEO Sophie Thyssen gives her speech, she announces that the company will include all Nobel Prize winners in their list of recipients, so these brilliant minds can continue their research for many years to come. Somewhere else, some of these said scientists are just recovering from their procedures, after they receive additional years added to their life. The procedure uses a process to match the donor and the recipient's DNA, so only if they find matches that the time can be donated from one person to another. Suddenly, a man dressed as an employee pulls out a weapon, and without a warning, he starts shooting numerous patients in the room. Before leaving, he draws a symbol on the wall and then runs out to escape. He's from a group called Atom Militant Group, which is a mysterious organization that arises to oppose the time-sharing being done at Aeon. They use terrorism tactics to stop the company and eliminate people in the name of saving society, as they believe that Aeon's system breaks the principle of human equality. They claimed responsibility for the recent attack on the scientists, so Aeon employs Nowak for their task force, which is a man with 16 years experience in Berlin's police counter-terrorism unit. At Max's home, his wife Elena came home to find her husband celebrating the award he got, seemingly oblivious to the fact that 15 people lost their lives at his workplace. The next day, the pair visits Elena's parents, who express their dislike of the work he does. His father-in-law thinks that it's extremely unethical, even though Max tries to explain that he's been helping people to get out of poverty. When they drive back home, the couple is devastated when they find their house burning. It cost them millions from loans that they haven't even paid, which the insurance company refuses to pay, as the cause of the fire is listed as negligence on their part. Supposedly it was caused by candles, but according to Elena, she blew them all out before leaving. They also inform them that they will need to pay the whole remaining sum of the mortgage amount, which is about 2.5 million euros. With their current predicament, Elena reveals that she has put up another collateral when they took the loan, and get tested as a match for time donations. Outside the building, they get approached by the police as someone tipped them off that Elena is going to run and leave the country. Seems like Elena's match desperately wants her years. The cops apprehend Elena, so Max tries to ask for a loan from Aeon's CEO, but she just asks him to send her the details of the loan that needed to be paid. In the conference room, Sophie points out that they need to solve the issue of having to match the recipient to specific compatible donors. She adds that it is a waste of time and many resources to search for suitable donors, but the board expresses their concern that Sophie is being too biased because she hasn't found a donor for herself. Meanwhile, Max is in distress when their lawyer informs him that they've been unsuccessfully trying to reach Sophie for weeks. Without any other choice, Elena is forced to give up 40 years of her life to pay off their debt, and Max isn't even allowed to see her beforehand. Elena undergoes the procedure forcefully, and afterward, her youthful looks slowly transform into a wrinkled older woman in her 60s. Max tries to comfort her, but the toll of forcefully giving her lifespan put a distance between the couple. Max goes back to Aeon to try to find a way to give Elena's years back, but Sophie refuses to talk to him. Elena also can't accept the fact that Max is now looking way younger than her, so it causes a constant quarrel between them. She is also revealed to be pregnant during the procedure, but has miscarried along her transformation, as her older body cannot be able to carry a baby. She tells Max that she cannot do it anymore and decide to stay at her parents' home, because she thinks that their relationship is not going to work for long. Elena is now looking older even than her parents, and Max desperately promises her that he will regain Elena's years back. He finds a young girl in a park that definitely acts older than her age, and asks her where she gets her years to look young. He then drives to the poor part of the city to procure his and Elena's fake identification and a handgun, as he listens to Adam's preaching along the way. He then secretly follows Sophie wherever she goes to wait for an opportunity, and when the woman visits a grave in the cemetery alone, he puts on his mask and tries to approach her. However, just as the woman turns around, he is met with a stranger's face. The woman screams for help, so Max doesn't have any other choice but to knock her unconscious and place her in the car's trunk. Before leaving the cemetery, Max spray paints the tombstone with a symbol of Adam's group, blaming the kidnapping on the enigmatic organization. While driving away, he strongly believes that the young woman he kidnapped is in fact her boss, because rejuvenating years can cause the recipient to regain their youthful appearance. Max goes to Elena to explain what he had done, and tells her that there is now a chance to get her years back. Meanwhile, as the police start investigating the incident, Nowak discovers Max's identity through his car and security cameras. They are immediately able to trace his current location, and quickly gather their forces to apprehend the man. As the couple reaches the abandoned repair shop where Max stashed the unconscious woman, Elena initially refuses to participate as it is illegal and unethical. Max promises that he already prepares everything for them to leave the country, and Elena eventually gives in when Max claims he will definitely go to prison either way. When the SWAT team arrives at the location, they find that Max has already left with the kidnapped woman. At the same moment, Max and Elena are now driving to Lithuania, where a doctor is willing to do the procedure illegally for them. Aeon's security team continues to track down Max's whereabouts through face recognition, but the process is taking too long. They are now aware that they are not dealing with a terrorist, but two desperate people who are trying to get their life back. Still, it doesn't give them the right to kidnap someone, as Elena wasn't forced to mortgage her lifetime for a luxury apartment. Soon after, they find a face match for Elena in their software, and trace that the couple is traveling outside the country. As Elena stares at a couple with a kid, her disposition to get through the illegal procedure gets stronger, as she still wants to have a baby and experience being a mother in the future. Suddenly, they notice the authorities waiting for their ship to dock, so they forcefully enlist the help of a family to hide in their truck and escape the checkpoint. Sometime later, Max and Elena let the family go after destroying their phone, and leave to drive to their destination. Along the way, they stop somewhere to wait for the doctor's call, and let the young woman free of her bondage. She then tells the couple that if they want money, her mom will be willing to pay for any amount, and this alerts Max when the girl uses the word mom. He then searches his phone for information about Sophie, and finds out that the young woman he snatched is possibly the boss's daughter Marie Thyssen. Unable to believe his mistake, Max knocks her unconscious and brings her to an abandoned hotel to stay for the night. The recent discovery messes with Elena's head, as she doesn't want to hurt an innocent girl just because her mother took Elena's life away. Max still believes her to be Sophie, and thinks that she's just playing tricks on them to escape. Marie asks Max if she can take a bath, which the man allows, but as he turns his back on her, Marie hits him with a piece of handrail from the bathroom and knocks him unconscious. She then rushes out to escape into the woods, but unfortunately falls into a swamp. Unable to swim, Marie immediately sinks into the water and is about to drown, when Elena arrives and saves her. They brought her back inside the hotel to clean her up, and while Elena watched her remove her clothes, she notices that Marie doesn't have the same mark that she has from the procedure. This proves that the young woman might be telling the truth that she is not Sophie, and she later tells her husband about it. Her conscience dictates not to go through the illegal procedure, but Max is adamant that the rejuvenation process also removes scars, and that's why Marie doesn't have it. The two get frisky with each other, despite the huge age difference that they now have. Meanwhile, Nowak finds their latest location and prepares to leave to retrieve the boss's daughter back. But an armed group of militants arrived at the couple's location first. It turned out that they are part of Adam's group, which doesn't like being used as a scapegoat for the kidnapping. The Adam group's aim is to kill Sophie, and it doesn't matter to them whatever road it takes. Marie is the perfect way to make sure they get Sophie's attention, so they decide to use Max to lure Sophie into a trap for them. In the meantime, their leader Lilith taunts Elena to shoot Marie, as her mother is the reason that she lost her precious life. For them, taking someone's years is essentially like taking their life, so they want Elena to end the matter in her own hands. As Elena points a weapon at Marie, she hesitates for a minute and essentially chose to put the gun down. Aeon's security team arrives with Sophie outside the hotel, so the group forces Max to lure the CEO inside. Max heads out and tells them that he wants to talk to Sophie alone, but the security head immediately figures that it is a trap. Before she can do anything about it, Nowak shoots Sophie and everyone starts firing. It turns out that Nowak is a mole planted by Adam's group from the beginning, and in the middle of the commotion, Nowak perishes along with a bunch of people from both sides of the fight. Max is able to get back inside the building to retrieve her wife and Marie, and they fight their way out to escape both the militant group and the police. After Marie threatens to shoot Elena and sees people die in front of her, Elena, who is a doctor, decides that she hasn't done enough in life, that she has dreamed of so much for herself and Max. On the road, Max and Elena argue as the man doesn't want to hurt Marie, because he thinks Sophie is dead. There's no way Marie would be able to get the years back if Elena took them from her. Elena has completely changed her heart about this and states that since Marie is Sophie's daughter, she will be a match for her as she shares the same DNA with her mother. With their contradicting thoughts, Elena leaves Max on the road and takes the car with Marie to the location of the doctor. The shady doctor performs the procedure to give Elena her youth, and after the procedure is done, Elena runs away leaving Marie in the middle of the streets. A truck driver finds her aimlessly walking and helps her, while on the other hand, Max finds his way to a refugee camp and is shocked by its tremendous size. Marie finds her way back to the Aeon's headquarters, and it is revealed that Sophie herself survives due to the bulletproof vest she's been wearing under her clothes. Sophie's security head finally quits, as she now sees her boss, whom she used to think was her friend, has hurt so many people and made so many ghosts. It is all for her selfish reason to become youthful again, and to achieve her goal of being the most powerful woman in Europe. Obviously, Marie and Sophie are a match because they share the same DNA, but due to Sophie's ambitions and greed, she won't even save her own daughter by sharing her years with her. Everything started when she used to search for a cure for progeria, which her older daughter possessed and died due to the disease. In the end, Max secretly watches his now ex-wife Elena on the beach, while the youthful pregnant woman kisses her new husband. We can assume that Max was there to kill Elena, but he spares her because he wants to be a good person. Ultimately, Elena made the life he wanted with her with someone else, but he was at fault for making her believe that Aeon would not harm them. Max walks away to a car full of people with weapons, as he is now part of Adam's militant group. Subscribe to watch more videos like this. You can also hit the notification bell and like the video to help the channel out. Thank you.